Hey, Coach Scott here. Welcome to our third video on the 6 pillars of health. Today we're going to talk about movement. If you're over 40, you're busy, you may not have time to go spend hours upon hours in the gym trying to get workouts in every day. The good news is you don't have to. There's some very simple rules and habits that we can follow to get the amount of movement in that we need without allowing it to take over our life. We're going to talk about 3 different areas where we can do this. The first being daily movement, the second being strength training, and the third being the proper type of cardio. So let's begin with the first one, daily movement. What do I mean by daily movement? Walking. We spend hours upon hours sitting at our desk, sitting on the computer, going home, sitting in our chair, watching TV, and we just don't move the way that we used to. The average American gets probably around 2,000 steps a day. You need to be up in the 8 to 10,000 steps a day range, ultimately, not to begin with. Don't go out on the first day and try to get 8 to 10,000 steps in. It's not going to work out too well for you. But you want to make sure that you're getting enough steps to actually get the blood flowing, help with weight loss, and to get the results that we want. So, how do we do that? There's a few tips where you can get these steps in each day and improve your health by simply walking. The first and one of the most important is after each meal, take a 10-minute walk. That's it. No big hour-long treks, no rucking, no putting on vests or backpacks and going out and doing hills. Just get up and walk for 10 minutes after each meal. The great thing about this is not only are you getting your movement in, but the simple act of moving after your meal can reduce your blood sugar by up to 30%. It keeps the insulin spike down, which in turn makes it harder for your body to store fat. So I mentioned total steps per day. If you're only getting about 2,000 steps, the problem is your all cause mortality goes up. Once you go to 4, you cut that in half. Once you go to 8,000, you cut it in half again. Once you go above 10 to 12,000, you begin to get diminishing returns. So this is the best way to do it. Start off with just the 10-minute walk after each meal. Then start adding in other simple things, like park as far away from the store as you can park and walk to the store. Don't try to get that first parking space right up front to save you a few steps. Take the stairs instead of taking the elevator. And the whole time, be watching your watch or your phone and try to figure out what your average daily steps are. Once you have your average, I want you to add 1,000 steps a day per week until you're up to that 8 to 10,000 steps per day range. This simple fact that you're just walking more will tremendously improve your health and your fat loss. The second topic I want to talk about is strength training. Now, this can be lifting weights, it can be bands, it can be body weight, but some type of resistance training to send the signal to your muscles. This is important. We want to keep this or even grow it. When you have more muscle, your metabolic rate goes up, which means you're able to burn more calories at rest just because you have more muscle. And a lot of people on GLP-1s, what happens with the GLP-1s, they take the shot, then they sit on the couch and they don't do any movement. Muscle is more metabolically expensive than fat is. So now your body's getting fewer calories. You're not sending the signal that you want to preserve the muscle. So your body will actually tear down the muscle first instead of the fat. There have been a few studies that actually show people have lost 60 to 80 pounds on the GLP-1s, and their body fat percentage actually went up because the weight that they lost was muscle. That's where you hear about the Ozempic phase and the people having issues taking the GLP-1s. Does that mean that you need to spend 4, 5 hours a week in the gym? No, not at all. I have several clients that do 15 minutes a day of resistance training every day, just 15 minutes. I have a couple of programs where it actually lays it out how to do this. Make sure you're getting some resistance training in. You want to send that signal that muscle is important and we want to hold on to that, especially when we're in a calorie deficit. The third thing I want to talk about is cardio. Now, that's a bad word. Everybody hates cardio, but probably because they're doing it wrong. You don't need to go get on a treadmill and run for 4 or 5 miles every day. That's not what I'm talking about. What you want to do is make sure that you have 2 to 3 dedicated sessions of 30 to 45 minutes of zone 2 cardio about 3 times a week. So, what is zone 2 cardio? Zone 2 cardio refers to the heart rate while you're doing the cardio. Now, you can get a tracker like a watch or something like that that will be able to judge your heart rate, but there's a real simple test that you can do yourself to figure out if you're in that zone 2 or if you're too high or too low. And that's called the talking test. If you go out and you're doing your cardio and you can't get all the way through a sentence without stopping to take a breath, you're too high. You're doing too much. By the same token, if you go out and you can talk like I'm talking right now with no problem, you're not high enough yet. You should get to the end of the sentence, have to take a deep breath, be able to get the next sentence out, and take another breath. You want to increase your heart rate a little, but not go over. So, why is zone 2 so important? When you're in zone 2, your body is burning a majority fat and very few carbs. Once you go above zone 2, that flips and you're burning more carbs than you are fat. Where that really backfires on people, if you go out and you do an hour of zone 3, zone 4 cardio, and that heart rate's really getting up there, you're burning so much glycogen out of your muscles that your body actually wants to replace that glycogen when it's over, and you end up overeating. And not only overeating, but your body's craving carbs to replace that glycogen. If you keep it in zone 2, you're telling your body this isn't an emergency. We don't need all hands on deck. All we need is just to burn the fat. And now you've got weight loss. If you want to take it one step further, do that zone 2 cardio first thing in the morning, fasted. Get up in the morning, go do about 30 minutes of zone 2 cardio. Your system's already depleted in carbs because you haven't eaten anything in hours. And now you're sending an even bigger signal to burn the fat for the energy. It's real easy to put the movement that we need in without allowing it to take over our life and have to spend hours upon hours in the gym, working out, doing all the things that we need to do. Small adjustments put in consistently pay off bigger over time. I want to make a quick announcement in this video today. I have several people who have told me over the last few months that they would love to do one-on-one coaching, but they don't have time for check-ins. They don't have time for meetings once a week, and they wanted a simpler program. Today, I launched Tier 1 Health Stabilization. That is a one-time payment, lifetime access for a program where you're able to do it at your own pace. When you have time, it teaches you small, repeatable habits that you can put in each day. And over time, you stack those habits to get more and more progress. All the lessons are in audio form, so you can listen to them on a short walk, riding in the car, and then you spend a week taking what you learned in that lesson, putting those habits into your day-to-day life, and then the next week, listen to the next one and begin to stack those habits. Very simple. You also have access to a community where you can talk with others that are going through the program, and you can even send messages to me to ask for more guidance or to answer questions as you go through. We have an introductory price for this program of $99, one time, lifetime access, but that is only for the first 15 people to sign up. After we have 15 people in the program, it'll go to its normal price of $147. So if you're interested, there's a link in the bio. Make sure to click on it, jump in, be one of the first to experience this very simple way of getting to your health goals. Thanks for joining us. If you don't mind, hit like, subscribe, leave a comment to help with the algorithm. And in our next video on the 6 pillars of health, we will be covering mindset. Keep digging.